Hey again from the garden, it's Christina from Sunshine and Flora. So I have been out here today working in the garden for hours, and I thought that this would be a good time to film a short video for you guys just to give you some updates on things that I've been doing around the garden as far as like garden chores and maintenance to my cut flowers, but then also give you an update on some projects we're doing. The new large planting area that I've been developing, I finally started planting, so I wanted to make sure to show you guys that. If you're new to my channel, I grow cut flowers in Zone 5A in Northwest Iowa. I sell at local farmers markets. I do special orders, and the building behind me we're renovating for a future retail space. So one of the areas I've really been working on today is my Dalia Patch. I have 4.5 rows of dahlias. In this space I have 108 dahlia plants, and I think every single one of them has come up. Some are further along than others, but so far they're looking great. Now, because I don't landscape fabric this area right around the plants, this fills in with weeds really easily. And so I have gone through yet again today and weeded all of this area. And one of the things I really want to do this weekend, hopefully I can get it done, is mulch this area with something to cover the soil. That's going to not only help with the weed pressure, but it is going to help hold in the moisture, which you can see I have soaker hoses running, and these work great for my dahlia areas. As far as what I'm going to use for mulch, I don't really love putting wood chips on open soil, so I think I might try straw this year. So hopefully I can run to one of our local farm stores and get some straw, get that down on this area, and then hopefully I don't have to weed this as much. We've had rain a lot lately and heat, and the weeds seem to grow faster than the plants, and if you don't keep up on your weeds, it really hinders your plant growth. I also did quite a bit of harvesting this morning just to plan ahead for the market the first of next week, one of which are snapdragons. These are really starting to bloom on. I have 2 rows of snapdragons right here in the garden and a whole bunch in the hoop house, and I harvested from both this morning. I also have this long area of self-seeded bupleurum that is looking pretty good. Most of it is too far gone, but I harvested a ton out of here this morning. And while these are not very tall, these are perfect for my mini market bouquets. And so I have a whole bunch in the fridge that is ready to use for next week. So one of the projects that my dad and I actually were working on all week is right behind me here, and I want to show you guys what we are doing. It is on the property for the new building, and it's going to be a new planting area. We also had to prepare for where the HVAC is going. We're working on the downspout so that we can put some water drainage underground, and just kind of getting it ready and making sure that the water is flowing away from the building and not into the basement like it previously has been going. So if you have been following my channel for a while, you know that we bought this neighboring building, and that is going to be the future retail space and my work area for Sunshine and Flora. I can do all of my seed starting and growing in the basement. These 2 windows actually go into the workroom in the back, and then the whole front part of the building will be a retail space. Well, we have had to do a lot of work, including pour a new foundation, and we are prepping for HVAC, which the air conditioner is going to sit kind of right in this area. I finally got a gas line trenched in. Also, this building hasn't had heating or cooling for decades. So we've been working on this area right here. And just for perspective, my parking lot, and then I have the walkway here, which you saw on the last garden tour. I have my Titan squash tunnel that my mini pumpkins grow on. And then this is the area we've been redoing. So we added these railroad ties just to kind of hold where this dirt flows to make an ending point. We brought in a lot of dirt to go against the building to grade it so that it flows away from the building. There's a gravel base under the landscape fabric that the HVAC system will sit on. And then this area is going to be finished next week. But basically my pathway goes here. This is going to have a bunch of new topsoil brought in so I can plant up this narrow strip. And then I'm going to turn around so you guys can see from the right angle. So this is the back of the building, and we had a nice big cement pad poured. I planted a peach tree there, got it for my birthday, and I just thought that might be a cute spot. It doesn't get very big, 8 feet tall max. And then This tile is going to be buried underground, and all of the dirt is going to gradually go downwards so that the water flows away, and the water from the roof will come out from underground and spill out into the parking lot. So I need to put some edgers here. We'll bring in some nice topsoil, and then this corner of the building can all be planted with perennials similar to this area, and it will just extend my cottage garden all the way over to this property. So that was a big project this week. We're not done, obviously. We're going to finish it the first of next week, and then all the dirt is also going to get delivered next week. And then this area is going to be looking really good. I actually have some plants ordered. I think they're coming today. So I may start planting this next week too. So the new planting area is on the property for this building. So if we swing around and we go past the junk / chemical, like old paint, / lumber pile, here is the new planting area. But first, this is the perennial garden that I created last year, and it's looking really nice and full. I harvested a ton of yarrow out of this area this morning. But you're probably wondering what the heck is going on here. This is going to be a future planting area, and this is kind of the spot when we have the dirt brought in next week. He's just going to pile it here. But I thought I might as well start developing this area because this is where I want to transplant my raspberries too. So I, with a shovel this morning, scraped all of the gravel off of here. There is cardboard down on most of this area. Under all of this, these are all of the weeds from the garden that I picked this morning and pulled. See here, you can see the cardboard. And I am just basically kind of using this as a natural mulch that will die off and break down and be under the dirt and kind of create compost under the dirt to help the health of the soil. So this will all be covered with dirt next week, and then the garden can just continue on. But as far as the new planting area goes, my dad and I really worked on this last week. This is some new dirt that actually from probably about here over got brought in next week. We'd like the rain to rain on it a couple times to soften the soil. But we went ahead and laid landscape fabric out 7 foot, and I started planting it. So what is in here? So I have some seedlings that were in dire need of planting. So I have gomphrena, and then now we get into some celosia. This is all 9-inch spacing. And then as we continue on, the rest of the way down are more direct sowed zinnias, and they are starting to sprout. Now, as far as the plan for the rest of this area, of course, I am an urban garden. I am downtown. This is behind the building. I'm basically turning my parking lot into a growing area. This will all be landscape fabric except for a 3 or 4 foot strip right in the middle where sunflowers will get sown. Those are my potato beds. This fall, we plan to build a fence all the way across so that the property is nice and fenced off. And then here as we flip around, we get to my hoop house. And then this bed, which is looking really good. I have sunflowers, celosia, cosmos, and amaranth, and mahogany splendor hibiscus. This also got weeded this morning. And one other chore that I did this morning was in the hoop house. I went ahead and laid a couple soaker hoses in the middle row here. I've got a few weeds coming up. I've got to address those and get rid of them. But this is where all of my ranunculus grew earlier this spring, and I have since then direct sowed quite a few things. Now they're not coming up. Some of them are. Most of that there is weeds. You can see this is grasses. Something is also eating these, and I'm thinking it's little baby grasshoppers. So I need to spray some neem oil on here, but I'm hoping with some consistent deep watering with these soaker hoses, I start seeing everything coming up. If not, I may just throw fabric on it and direct sow zinnias in here too, because I really want to utilize this space for summer. This is one of my favorite areas of the garden so far, my little cottage garden area. It is so full and lush. This is how I want all the perennial areas of my garden to look. As I was going through and weeding everything this morning, I also pinched a couple things. Some of my dahlias that were getting quite tall and had very thick stems, I went ahead and cut those off to pinch them. When the rest of my dahlias get tall enough, I will be doing a video on that, but some of the ones that I had started earlier were at that point, so I went ahead and did that. I also pinched my amaranth because they were getting quite tall and also very thick stem. And the amaranth, I'm growing those for the smaller side branches, not one big overwhelming stock of amaranth. I want to have smaller side branches of amaranth in the fall that I can use for fall bouquets. So I went ahead and pinched those too. But so far this season, I mean, everything is looking so good in the garden. Right now I'm actually in the garden next to the hoop house, and around me I have Eryngium, which probably won't bloom this year, but this is a perennial, so I'm planting this in anticipation for next year. My zinnias behind me are looking awesome. I have Ageratum and Cresspedia and Feverfew and Ami, and everything is just growing really, really well, and my pumpkins are growing really well. So I will link the garden tour that I just filmed at the end of this video, but make sure to check that out if you haven't. And I plan to do one of those videos every couple weeks just so you guys can see how things change, because this time of year everything changes so quickly. So anyway, that's going to do it for this video. I just wanted to give you guys a few project updates and maintenance updates. So I hope you're having a wonderful weekend. Stay tuned for a lot more as usual, and we will see you soon.